Tiffany.
I'm Gavin.
And we talk hair. Katie just could not be here today, so we found an amazing replacement. Actually, one of her patients. So he went through a transplant a little over a year ago, and we're going to kind of hear just all about that experience, especially from somebody under 25. So we're excited. Are you excited?
I am excited. It's been amazing. So
good. I'm excited for you. And he's busy. He's in PA school. We were just talking about that. So he is on a brief break and literally made a hole in a day to come spend some time with us. So we're super excited about that. Did you do your 1 year follow up with us?
Yes.
Already and got all the pictures?
Yeah, Katie took our pictures.
Okay, cool. So maybe we
April.
can like put some of those pictures in there as well. Sorry, side note.
You can see those crazy differences in those.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
It's
exciting.
crazy. I have them on my phone too.
You're like, just so I can show people.
Yeah, when I show people, I'm like, this is what it was before and this is it now. And they go crazy.
Were you a hat wearer? Like, did it at all, like the thinning kind of make you wear a hat? Or you were like, I don't want to be that person, which is one of the reasons why you took like a step
I was
towards this.
On and off. I wore them, I'd say just as much as a frequent person. But when I would have to like put 5 different products in my hair to somehow mask. And a lot of people times would be like, well, I didn't even notice you were thinning that much. And I'd be like, because I was really good at hiding it.
Yeah.
And now I can go out and I don't have to hide it. And it's just like I can wake up and if my hair looks crazy, I think that's awesome. Because my hair was so thin before, it would just sit down on my head. So there's different things that you take for granted that you miss. So I'm like, I don't care if I have a bad hair day because I have hair.
Yeah, exactly. I have hair.
Yeah.
I think that's another thing too, is a lot of people think getting a hair transplant means they never have to style their hair again, which is not the case.
Yeah.
You still have to style it. You've got more hair to style, in fact. So like you said, it's just a routine. Do your minoxidil, take your pill, do your hair. It's
Right.
all worth it.
It is.
And then you get all this.
All worth it.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about really what made you want to do a surgery in the first place at such a young age and kind of protocol for that, which you've probably already heard about from us, but we'll go over that as well.
Yeah, so I started thinning about my senior year of high school. And it wasn't drastically bad at that point, but I could start, people would sometimes say things and that's one thing I've learned when you're in your hair loss process is don't say things to people because it hurts them more than you think it does.
Take notes of that, guys, because that is a thing.
Yeah, you wouldn't think about it until it happens to you, but then it's like, that actually hurts people's feelings. But anyways.
Working through trauma.
Exactly. But it started thinning, not really bad, so I started... went to our family care physician, went to a dermatologist, and nothing seemed wrong. It was just like male pattern baldness, what you're going to have. I started finasteride, some PRP, the helmet, different things, but nothing actually gave the results I wanted. I knew that in the long run, if I wanted to keep hair, if I wanted to have a full head of hair, it looked like transplant was the option. So we talked to Katie for a while. I've known Katie for a long time. She was awesome and helpful, and that's the route we went with, and I would do it 100 times over. It's amazing. And being young, I would say I was more conscious than if I was at the point I was like, you know what, if I was 40 years old, 50, I was married, had kids, settled down, it wouldn't be a big deal. But I'm like at the prime stage of like, I want to look good, presentation matters a lot more right now at this age, and it was just something that I was very self-conscious about. Yeah. So I knew I wanted to make a change and don't regret it at all. Yeah,
no, and especially at that age, like I can't imagine like what it's like to be like, end of high school, getting ready to go into college and be like, I should not be thinning. Like this is my prime. Like this is when I'm supposed to be out there living my best life. And that's the last thing you want to worry about. And then as we've discussed previously on here, like stress makes things worse. So then you're stressing about something, you're insecure about something.
Doesn't help it.
It's affecting every aspect of your life subconsciously. And how did you know Katie? Did you know her prior to this?
I've known Katie a long time. Her brother played AAU basketball with my brother.
Aww.
So her parents and my parents, we would go on long ball trips all over the country.
Oh, that's amazing.
But they're awesome.
So it's nice to have like a trusted family friend too, as
and
well.
And we explored a couple different places in Nashville because we were like, we know nothing about the industry. Where do we start? And then I don't know, I think my mom said, I think Katie works for one. And we reached out and we came here and it was just obvious that this was the one to do it at. It just blew all the others away, to be honest.
Oh, I love that so much. Well, I've got a few just like kind of questions. I know it's kind of backtracking a little bit, but like, kind of tell us what your recovery process was like. I mean, I know you're younger, you're athletic, but it's still, I'm sure the first 3 months still wasn't, ideal. Did you wear a hat a lot, things like that?
So it was April of 21.
21?
I was graduating in May the next month, college, because I graduated a year early. So I was like nervous. I was already thinking like, my head's going to be shaved. I'm going to have like a meat grinder over my head. I'm going to have to walk in front of everybody at graduation. I did get to wear the hat then, so it wasn't a big deal. But the recovery was not bad at all. That's what I tell everybody for me.
You heard it here, folks.
It was not, like seriously. There was just a little pressure back at the scar for like the first week or so. And then I never had any pain on the top of my head at all. The only part that stinks a little bit is sleeping upright for a couple nights. But then after that, you're fine. It was not bad at all. It was sensitive for a little bit, but I mean, I just didn't touch it, wash it carefully. But recovery I would give a 10 out of 10. It was not bad at all. I've broke my wrist before, and that was 10 times worse than a hair transplant. It looks pretty scary, but I promise it's not bad at all.
Yeah, especially because you can wear a hat. You can cover it up. That makes it easier when you are in like the social field, essentially. To backtrack just a little bit, so when we do hair transplants on anybody under 25, there's protocol. You have to be on finasteride or saw palmetto propecia for at least a year prior, and we have to see that it's at least stabilizing, that something's kind of working for them, preferably minoxidil or laser PRP as well, attempted thickness. We're not just like, hey, let's just do it on somebody that's never at least tried to slow it down. Again, the reason being, and I've used this analogy before, you've got existing hair. It's thinning. If we go and put new hair in there and you don't take care of the existing hair, you can lose that existing hair. And especially at that age, you've only got so much donor. So it's not in your best interest to have done that just right out the gate with no prior things. But you kind of took initiative and actually went on stuff prior. And that's what really made a difference. And then he met with the doctor as well, got approval for everything. And we've monitored him closely since. So it does happen. Not everybody's a candidate for it under 25, but it does happen. And there are very good protocols that we like to put in perspective for the long term, for the long run, essentially. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, you did that.
A lot of hair is just consistency. It's like, it's not a job. It's not that super hard, but like just wake up in the morning and at night, put your minoxidil on, take your finasteride. At night, do your helmet. I'm not as adamant about the helmet as I should be, but I still use it as you should. Like, just maintenance is key for hair.
Yeah. And it's good that you recognize that, and it's good that you're saying that, because we stress that with our patients all the time. Like, you have no idea, especially my younger people. I'm like, they're like, do I have to do this for the rest of my life? And I'm like, you don't have to do anything, but if you want your hair, you do have to keep a routine. I say it's kind of like, and this is kind of a dramatic comparison, but like if you have high blood pressure, if you're diabetic, you're monitoring your diet, you're taking a pill to keep that down. You have high DHT in your testosterone levels, and so you have to do something to make sure you keep that stabilized. You have to do something to make sure you're not losing the hair. But again, that transplanted hair is not going anywhere, which is what's amazing as well. So,
and if you look that good after you've spent this money on a transplant, take care of it. It's like, after you get braces, you don't stop wearing your retainer forever.
No, this has been like 15 years.
Yeah, so if you spend money on something, take care of it.
Yeah.
And that's just the consistency of it. You just have to make yourself do those little steps, and it's not that hard. You can do it.
Such great advice.
Yeah.
Young and wise. Love to see it. Love to see it. How was your follow-up care in general? Like coming back, getting your sutures out, things like that?
It was awesome. So especially the team here, Katie would text me, like, how are you doing? How you feeling? Do you need anything? The first day we came back here after the procedure, nothing hurt. It was all chill, relax. They take really good care of you here. So, my post-op was awesome. No complaints, just like with the recovery. No pain anywhere.
Did people notice when you first had a procedure, and who did you tell? Like, who were you hiding it from? Things like that.
I told my family, and my whole thing was because they were like, well, what if someone asks? And I was like, well, mine wasn't drastically gone before it. I mean, I was thinner, and unless you really knew me, see me every day, you wouldn't have maybe noticed. But the thing about it, I didn't just like introduce myself. Hi, my name is Gavin. I just got a hair transplant.
Yeah, nice
like
to meet
I
ya.
wouldn't just tell everybody. But if someone asked about it, I've since this whole journey, I love hair. I think it's so cool, especially in PA school now, because we learn about everything and all these testosterone levels and medications. It just applies. It's so cool, and I'm like, yeah, I've experienced this. I know what this is like. But I'm not ashamed to talk about it. Like if somebody asks me about it, I love to give advice. I'm like, you need to go do this, you need to do this, check your boxes. But it wasn't super noticeable, and that's what I like too, because I didn't want to, that's a part of why I started so young too. I was like, I don't want to wait till I'm fully bald to do this, because that would be so drastic and everybody would be like, that doesn't even look like him. But I'm glad I'd done it young, to where I know everybody's not eligible unless you do those things, but to where it wouldn't be super drastic notice that I did have this. And everybody that, like you said, I have curls a lot now. I didn't know I had a lot of curls. So it's came in, and everybody loves my curls. So it makes it a lot more fun.
That's like the first thing I said. I was like, your curls look so great.
It was so brittle and thin before that it had no volume or texture.
Yeah.
So now that it's come in, it's like, oh, wow, I didn't know I even looked like this.
Yeah.
But it's awesome.
And that's a good perspective too, because like you said, sometimes when people go from being bald to having hair, it's more of a like, what did you have done? And with you, it's way more subtle.
Yeah.
And like, I wouldn't notice anything, especially never. I mean, I've seen your videos, things like that, but in person, I've seen. I think, did you do a TikTok? Is that what you did?
Yeah, I did. That's a funny story.
Tell us.
I love TikTok. I think it's fun, and I just wanted to document this journey to see, like, that I can watch now after it, to see, because you don't notice the changes as much as it's coming in. So I'd done like a transformation just of 1 month before, 3 weeks before, until I think it was 6 or 7 months post operation, and when I watch that back, the difference is just like, this was all worth it. No matter what it took or how awkward it was at sometimes for me. When you see those, take pictures if you're considering it. Take pictures, because you'll look back and be like, man, this was worth it. And I sent that to Katie, and she loved it, and it was super fun.
Oh, that's amazing. Is it public or no?
I think you all have it. I think it's on the We Grow Hair TikTok, so you should go look at it.
Check it out.
Yeah.
It's absolutely incredible. Like, and it's like he said, like, you don't notice. It's almost like those, like the pregnancy videos when people like kind of film themselves, because it's just like subtle change. It's the same thing with the hair. It was like you did it before, and then I think, like you said, I think it's either 7 or 10 months after, and it's insane. And seeing that progress is,
I think I'm going to do another one. I have a second one on my scalp this December. So
in that crown area?
Yeah, on my crown.
Yeah, so the first one we went back to about here, so this one will fill right here, and hopefully you'll be done.
Yeah. It's been fun, and I think I need to start thinking of some ideas for that second video.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
The first one is pretty fun.
It is. Cool. I hear the song in my head now. Like, yeah. I'm seeing the video, I hear the song.
I show it to people, and they're like, I never would have thought, like, unless you saw me every day, they're like, the difference is insane. And my before and after pictures, when you look at that, like I said, it just gives you like, wow, it's awesome. Real results.
How did people react, like when the people who saw kind of your hair growing in? Were they impatient as you were impatient, or were they like, hey, it's finally coming in? Were they always checking your head?
My mom was. She would lay down at night, and I could tell she was trying to do it without me noticing. She'd have her glasses and be looking. It takes a little bit. It takes a couple months for you to see that growth, because those hairs have to embed and do their thing. But then when it starts. Like, it comes in like a bush, and you'll just be like, wow, you can really tell a difference. I was a little impatient. I was like, man, is this going to work?
That's what I was about to say. Were you ever like, did this not take? Like,
yeah. And then it took a while. And then I want to think 3 or 4 months, not super long.
That's typical.
Yeah. And then you could really start to see them, just like spots here that you could just see my scalp, that it was like covered with hair. And I was like, wow, it's coming. Here it comes.
I think people think sometimes too that they're not, like, they're above average in recovery time. So I think if it doesn't come in at that 3 or 4 month mark, they like or at like 1 or 2 months, they start freaking out. Cause like I'll get like my patients, I know myself, I get emails, I get text messages, they'll be like, I need to come in, my hair's not coming in. And I'll be like, how long has it been? They'll be like 6 weeks. And I'm like, yeah, it's not supposed to. And they're like, well, I just thought it would come in sooner. I was like, 3 to 4 months, you'll start seeing, we got a video about it, there's an email drip about it, like all the things, but people still like freak out. But it is a thing. I say with anything, give it 90 days. You know, if we're working out, like if we got goals in general, you're looking at 90 days of things. And it's essentially the same with hair. That hair is fragile. It's connecting to a new blood source, and it just takes time. But once it starts, like you said, it comes in quick. It comes in quick.
And especially, like I said, with different textures and everything. Mine was thin, and it was just flat. It just sit down, and then it came in with all this.
all this glory, curls, all the
curls.
Things. So you chose the hair grafting, which honestly we wouldn't have let him do anything else. Again, probably something we've touched on before. Essentially, with young people, with anybody, you've only got so many donor, but especially with young people, you know there's probably going to be another surgery in the future. And the ARTIS FUE it just depletes that donor area. So it's meant for small fine tuning. It can be like a 3rd or 4th procedure, should somebody have used up elasticity with like an FUT. But an FUE is never something we would do on anybody, probably honestly under the age of 30. It'd have to be a very rare circumstance to do it. So you did hair grafting. Kind of tell us just the density difference, why you went with that. Did Katie I'm sure Katie didn't even give you an option, kind of say the same things probably.
Yeah, she kind of was like, you need to do this one. Because we were just people in the public. Like, our hair knowledge was not out of the roof. So I was like, I don't know. I don't know the pros, cons to which one. You get more grafts with the one I did, right?
Yeah, you get thicker, more hair per graft.
That's what my thing was.
Graft.
And I was like, I mean, if I'm doing this, I want to get as much bang for my buck as I can get. So that's the option we went, just because it covered the majority of my top of my head. It came very far back. They got a lot of grafts, and it covered a lot. So that was my main issue. Was I just want as many as I can get, and then Katie talked us through that, and that's one we went with, and I think that's the one we're doing in December, right? Yeah. So.
Yeah. And I can't see a scar on your head at all.
Oh, there's not one. Even because I waited a long time to go get a haircut, because I was just letting it grow. My mom was like, don't cut it, just let it go as much as you can. And I went to my barber, and he was like, dude, I can't even see it, because I had told him all about it. And he was like, you can't see it at all. It's crazy.
Amazing.
When I try to show people, they're like, I can't see it. And I'm like, it's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, you can't see it at all. And I know they had said some precautions, like maybe you can't do a super short haircut if you don't want to see it. I've got it pretty short, and you still can't see it. They do an amazing job with the scar.
I love it. Well, and you probably followed pre and post-op care, which is a thing as well. I make sure people don't twist their head too much, do things and stretch it out. But if you follow protocol, it should be nice and thin, which is great. It just looks so good.
Thank you.
I'm just excited for you. How does, again, you're in school for PA, you know, you're in the social world, and how has this like really changed your life?
Oh, dramatically. Especially with my girlfriend never cared. She was just like, I'm gonna love you either way. Do what you want to do. But not as much for other people I did it, but as much as more for me. There were times like I would think twice about bending over to get something. I would think twice about pictures, or if for some reason somebody was standing behind me or sitting behind me in church, like they would see the back of my head and it would just destroy me. And like I said, especially if somebody said, it looks like you're thinning like that, it would just destroy my self-confidence. And I've told many people, you don't realize how big a deal your hair is until it happens to you, and how much it can do. Because I've never been somebody that struggles with any self-confidence at all, but my hair changed that. It was really sad for me for a while. I would like be really upset and wonder like, what can I do with this? I don't want to ask my parents to shell out all this money for me to fix it. But they were so supportive. They were like, you know, you're young, how you look, whatever matters to you matters, and how you perceive yourself is so important. So going from that to now, just my confidence in walking down campus or college, or if I'm out in Nashville on Broadway, just anywhere, that I feel more confident in the way I look makes it all worth it. It all matters to you, and if it bothers you, do it. You can change it, and it's just hair. I mean,
it's just hair.
It's not that big a deal. You can do it. It's not painful. It takes less than a year to see results, so it's changed my life. And like I said, and I reiterate it all the time, I would do it 10 times over. I would. It's awesome.
No regrets.
No regrets at all.
Beautiful. Well, I've got just really like a couple other questions. Would you recommend us to anybody? I mean, I think you kind of already have, but
100%.
Have you recommended us to anybody?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. I tell people all the time if they're starting to get concerns about it. Well, I'm like, I can hook you up. I know where to send you. It's amazing here. Besides the fact that the care and the procedure and everything was amazing, the communication, like, it would be no big deal for anybody, I'm sure, that you're one of your consultants to text you like, hey, can you check on mine? Mm-hmm. Or one of your patients to just text you like, hey, what do I need to be expecting? What do I prepare? It's so easy, the communication between each other. And that's what makes you feel right at home, especially I'm going into healthcare too. So once you cross that boundary of like the patient provider and make it not hard to communicate and feel like you're at home, that's a big thing here. When we came here to do our consult, they're just straight up with you. They tell you like, this is what you're gonna get, this is what you should expect, and it's not gonna be easy for a little bit. I mean, you're gonna look a little crazy there. But
we're honest about that.
Yeah, honesty is key, because
it is.
You can't do this expecting that next week you're going to look normal, because you're not, but you can wear a hat. That's a lifesaver. But just that transparency with We Grow Hair is amazing. And
you've been such a great patient, because like I said before, some people like expectation versus reality is a thing, and sometimes people, I think, hear what they want to hear. Like you say, it's going to be a rough few months, you're not going to have a ton of growth, and then they're like, why don't I have hair? I'm like, we discussed this, you know what I mean? But you're just an ideal patient, you're an ideal candidate, you're doing all the right things, and I'm just so excited.
Me too.
Your hair looks so good. I'm excited to see a year from now. And you look amazing, and I'm glad you chose us. And I know you, like, your family knew Katie, but it's like the fact that they even remember that and came here, and it's just exciting. And
it's exciting because it's the gift that keeps on giving. When you think you're done, more comes in. It just keeps coming and coming. So it's a consistent gift.
It's a consistent gift. I've got hair for days.
Yeah.
A problem you previously didn't have.
No, I didn't.
Well, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk with us. Like I said, I'm stoked. Your hair's gonna look amazing again, a year from now when we do this again. And congrats on school.
Thank you.
I just wish you the best of luck. You're a sweetheart. So it's been great. Well, thank you guys for listening today. I'm Tiffany.
I'm Gavin.
And we talk hair.